I wanted to review some of the concepts and some of the approach that we talked to Tim about on Friday regarding using Word as our layout editor to create our authoring documents. So first I want to go in and kind of show you the approach from kind of end to end. The first thing you do is create a data set which is essentially a data model that's based on some type of data being fed to the system on a SQL query or XML or an Excel file. For simplicity here, I'm just going to use an Excel file. What I did was, this is stored on my C drive, I just created a file based on one of the artifacts that was provided in the RFP. So I'm going to go here and I'll just give a number or a name. And I'll upload the file, and then it'll show me the file and basically show me all the elements that are in that file. And we can look at the structure a little bit more. Again, I can rename the structure and rename these items. At this point, I need to save my data model. And note as I save this, if you can have one data model and then have multiple layouts from that. So if someone wanted to go in and edit and change the data, maybe it's in a BI report or it's a SQL query or something, or it's an underlying data table, they can change that and that'll be reflective in all the layouts and all the data. So we'll just go ahead and change this, and we give it a number or name. Test 75 if I can type. And then I'll go in, and the next step is to generate the XML. I do it for all my rows because we're interested in all the data. That's the subset of it. And here's all my XML data. I can then go in and I'm going to export this because we're going to use it in Word, right? So I'll save it. And I've got a 75. I'll go ahead and save it to a folder on my hard drive. But probably maybe in our world this might be saving it down to something in content management, right? So then I'm going to go in, and now maybe I went in and I opened a document, and this document here in this case is again just a Word document that I created a header on with some images, but it also could be a template, right? Or it could be a document that someone else used, and now I'm going to go in and modify. So the first thing I do is I load my sample XML. You can see that, but there's the file we created. Again, that could be from content management or wherever, but I've loaded that document in, and now I can go about creating some a layout, some reports here. So I'm going to go in, select the table, and pick all my fields, and then go back. I've got a couple fields in here associated in this template by mistake, and just say next. And you can do grouping, you can do sorting, all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to say finish, and there's my data, right? And what I can do now is I can just come up here and point to rich text file. Again, this will put it in Word, right? And here's my document. I've created my document, and I've got all my task groups, task names. I happened in this to put the steps like in separate records in Excel as I loaded them up. I'm not sure that's how I do it, but that's how I kind of did. I can also go in here now, right, and do things like insert a table, a picture, a shape, an art, right, something, a hyperlink, all that kind of stuff. I can also, again, I have all the capabilities within Word, so I can, change colors, change font colors, make things bold, all that kind of stuff, right? I also have the ability within BI Publisher to just add a particular field, right? I also have the ability to add just particular fields if I want to do that, or maybe a subset of a grouping of a field. The problem I was having, and this is more of a demo issue, and I sent it to Tim, I sent my data files, was being able within this to have like master detail relationships, right, or one-to-many, because you should be able to load multiple spreadsheets or have multiple spreadsheets and have multiple tabs representing like master detail, and then draw relationships. And I was getting an error on that, so I'll hopefully get a response from Tim. All right, so that's kind of the approach, and there's some variances in that we can do, and we can talk about those.